His Excellency the British High Commissioner, Mr. Iain Walker. Please welcome him to the lectern.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, soon-to-be graduates, Akwaba. Thank you very much indeed for the kind invitation to join you today to share in such a special occasion. It's an honour to be the UK's High Commissioner to Ghana. It's an absolute privilege to be a participant in events such as today. Congratulations to you all. As the Chancellor said, my name is Iain Walker. As a Monday-born child, I also go by the name of Kojo. Having now been here for 6 weeks, I realise how much effort and focus is focused on the last 60 years and the 60 years of independence that have been celebrated earlier this year. And it's focused on the evolution of the UK-Ghana relationship and how much we have in common. I'm really keen that we talk as well about the next 60 years and the future of the UK and Ghana working together. And when I see collaborations and the presence of Lancaster University here in Accra and the quality of students that are about to be presented with their graduations today, it gives me real hope and inspiration really for the future of the strong ties between our two countries. As I said, we have so much in common across business, across media, across sports, across arts, but in many ways, nothing more so than education. Before I came to Ghana, it was education and democracy that stood out to me as two things of which Ghana was rightly very, very proud. And education is something that we in the UK take incredibly seriously too. Across the UK High Commission, we engage in lots of things across Ghana with the British Council, with some of our aid programming, with some schools, particularly up in the north of the country. But for me, seeing the connections and the collaboration between the university here and the people of Accra is just, the people of Ghana is just wonderful. For me, as the British High Commissioner, there's certain occupational hazards come with the role. One is that many conversations begin very well and often turn into a question about visas. Amongst such refined company today, it's great to see that so many of our graduates are going to now have that passport, really for a much better future, a future within their own control, and a passport to opportunity and to the world. Congratulations to you all. And for those of you with a keen ear for intonation, you may hear some Scottish twangs in the way that I speak. I hope it's still understandable. But some of my influences as a child in reading books was a book by Muriel Sparks called The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. In it, she talked of education. And the word education itself, what did it mean? And the E of education coming from the Latin ex, meaning out, and the duco with an education meaning to lead. And the education was actually the leading out of what was within the soul. So not the cramming in of information, but the releasing of potential. And I think for me, there is a real message in there for the graduates individually and for the future of Ghana and the importance that education places within that. I hope I'm not the bearer of bad news when I say this, but whilst today is a great celebration, it's not the end of the road for learning. I hope that people really commit to the learning in the long term. For me, learning is not kind of preparation for life, it actually is life itself. And if I may take the opportunity to dispense 3 very brief words of wisdom. Firstly, to the graduates, you're lucky. You're very lucky because of the conditions into which you were born, into the fact that your parents valued education and supported you in your early life. And if your parents weren't that supportive, I'm sorry for getting that wrong. But I believe for most of you that would be the case. It's certainly true for me. It was something that my parents valued highly and put education as the core of what they wanted to make sure I focused on. So you're a product of your environment as much as an individual within that. And I say that because I think that no doubt in the next steps of your career you will come across many bumps in the road, things that don't quite go according to plan. And I would say don't be too hard on yourself. Equally, don't take too much satisfaction from success in and of itself, but be humble and recognise that you've achieved a lot and you're going to achieve an awful lot more. I think secondly, build networks. You have amongst your peers today a fantastic network. And it's not one that you should leave behind, it's one that you should invest in and focus on in the future. Personally, for me, one of my close school friends at junior school when I was 10 years old was Ghanaian, someone with whom I kept in touch during the period since then to now, someone who instilled an interest in Ghana for me that's culminated in me arriving here today. And I say that your network is something that spans everything from your personal life to your professional, and I encourage you strongly to invest in the network that you already have created today. And thirdly, be positive. The world is full of commentators, it's full of cynics. Actually, it needs some positivity, it needs to celebrate some good news, it needs people to argue for change, it needs people to believe in a positive future. And I think that's what you should be believing in, less than being a critic on things from the sidelines. But let me finish by saying again what a real privilege it is for me to join you today. Most of all, I urge you to be proud, to celebrate your fantastic achievements. And I'm proud that the UK and Ghana is working together to build a better future for yourselves, but more than that Ghana takes completely within itself control of its own destiny. And good luck to you all individually, and good luck to you all in the audience, and thank you very much for listening to me today. Thank you.
Nice job.